Zone.com.
Marketplace of Liberty is brought to you by BattleBox, the planet's premier survival tactical subscription box. Ride On, the party game created by conservatives for conservatives because mocking the left feels so right. And Patriot Mobile, funding American organizations focused on conservative principles.
Live from the Cartel Studios in Fort Worth, Texas. You're entering the Marketplace of Liberty with the Conservative Cartel. And now, here's Madlock and producer Ron.
All right, hour two. The Conservative Cartel. We're live from the Mojo 50 Freedom Dojo. You can find us on AmericasVoiceNews.com, theconservativecartel.com, mojo50.com, and all of our social media platforms. So glad you're here. We're going to get right after it because on the Mojo 50 hotline, I've got editor-in-chief of Big League Politics. If you have not found these guys, you should. They're fantastic. Patrick Howley joins me here on the Conservative Cartel. Patrick, how are you this morning, sir?
I can. How are you?
Oh, much, much better. All right. So let's redo this. And Patrick, are you good to roll through this segment? Can I get you a second one since we got cut off here to start this first one?
Absolutely.
Perfect. Good. So we've got some time. So on the Mojo 50 hotline, I've got editor-in-chief, Big League Politics, Patrick Howley. Patrick, tell the audience who you are and how Big League Politics came to fruition.
Well, I'm basically a regular person. I've been an investigative journalist for about 10 years. I guess my breakthrough was when I worked for Steve Bannon at Breitbart during the campaign. In all the early primaries, I covered the Hillary Clinton campaign and the email scandal for Breitbart and had a lot of success during the election. And then after the election, I felt like I had moved up in the world, and so it was time to be an editor and build my own site. And so I founded Big League Politics. And it's been difficult. It is difficult to start a news organization, but it looks like we're finally breaking through and turning a profit and making a big impact.
Good for you. And, Patrick, you guys are making a big impact. When I reached out to you guys, you're doing great work over there. Big League Politics breaks a lot of stories. You're actually on my list of sites to read daily to see what you're saying and what's going on. And I use your articles quite frequently when we're talking about this stuff. So let's talk about this Brett Kavanaugh circus. We've got news this morning that the 7th FBI supplemental report is out, and they have found no evidence to corroborate Ms. Ford's claims.
That's right. Well, you know, the entire situation has been really a hoax from the start. And you have three accusers who, you know, obviously were not telling the truth, in my opinion, and in the opinion of pretty much anybody who was watching it. And so in recent days, the last, day and a half, 2 days, you've seen people like Jeff Flake and the Democrats shift away from the sexual assault allegations and towards other things. Is Brett Kavanaugh too partisan? Is Brett Kavanaugh too much of a conservative Republican to be on the Supreme Court? Other kinds of questions. That's when you knew they were cooked because Christine Blasey Ford was a total flop. And I think this is the Me Too movement jumping the shark.
Well, and you're right. In some of those other things, he's an alcoholic. How much did he drink? Did he ever black out? And then you had Cory Booker, of course, come out yesterday and say, well, you know, now, even if he's innocent or not, he's burnt. We just need another nominee.
Yep, and in fact, he was the one who said more is going to come out the day before the first New Yorker story by Ronan Farrow. Or Ronan Sinatra, whatever his name is. The first story he does, and by the way, Frank is rolling over in his grave if that's his son.
Yeah.
But the first story they did for the New Yorker Well, they didn't even name the accuser. They thought they could actually do this by just using an anonymous woman without actually naming her. That's how much power they have, and that's how little they think of conservatives and Republicans, because the Republicans up on Capitol Hill are cowards, and they might as well, be sitting around sniffing glue all day. They do nothing. The Democrats have no respect for them. And so this is actually a big turning point, because what we're seeing right now is the Republican base so sick and tired of these baseless smears, the kind we saw against Roy Moore, the kind we see against every conservative, Bill O'Reilly, Trump himself. Finally, people are just saying enough is enough, and so the base is coming out and winning this thing because the Republicans on the Hill are so weak that they can't do it without the people.
So here's a question for you. We've got a couple minutes left in this segment. Don't worry, I'll hold you over, and we'll get to the second segment too. So I've got a lot more questions for you. Let's talk about what's going on currently, because we did have a cloture vote last night. It's a procedural deal in the Senate that McConnell had to do to set up this confirmation vote for Kavanaugh coming up this weekend. How do you see that going, and what's the feel up on Capitol Hill around this?
Look, the fact that McConnell is making this happen means that he probably has the votes. Now, I'm not positive of that. It is possible that maybe McConnell is saying, hey, look, I got it to a vote, and then he's going to shift the blame to Flake, Collins, and Murkowski. I don't trust Mitch McConnell because he's proven himself to be duplicitous time and time again against the Republicans. And so, the feeling on Capitol Hill basically is not knowing what to expect. I think that either way, if Kavanaugh does get voted down because of the rhinos and the moderates, what it will do is it will expose how Mitch McConnell is so weak and ineffective and unwilling to help the cause that I think you're going to see a big reform in the Republican Party after the midterms. But, this is so emotional that for me and for many other people, I don't really care about the politics right now. I want to win. They've come after this guy. They've come after his family. They have smeared him in the most vicious way possible. It's obviously lies. It's obvious activist tactics. But what they're doing is they're saying it doesn't matter that it's not true because we run the media. Right. It doesn't matter that it's not true because we run the activist groups. So if we all get together and tell the same lie, that's where our power comes from. We need to shut that down before that gets bigger and bigger because liberals have gotten a free pass on these kind of dirty tactics for too long.
Well, on the Mojo 50 hotline, I have editor-in-chief of Big League Politics. Patrick Howley is on the line. Patrick, we've got about a minute. You made a very important point here, and I want to ask you a real quick question. Why do you believe Mitch McConnell and, in particular, Senator Lindsey Graham are actually acting the way they are now?
Because, there is some accountability. There is some accountability that these guys face. I think Lindsey Graham genuinely believes in Kavanaugh. I don't think McConnell genuinely believes in anything, but he is going to be held accountable if this thing doesn't go through. This is literally his job. And so I think that the reason is because the base and the voters and the people in the Republican Party are so sick and tired of Washington that they want to see something get done, and they don't want to see the whole thing go down in a ball of fake accusations from the activist left.
Perfect. Hey, Patrick, hang around here. I've got a 4-minute break. I want you to hang around. We're getting ready to go into break here for the first segment. On the other side, I want to ask you about this Miss Mitchell, and I want to ask you about this ex-boyfriend of Miss Ford coming forth and saying that she helped this young lady, her friend, through this polygraph test. Hang tight. On the Mojo 50 hotline, I have editor-in-chief of Big League Politics, Patrick Howley. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. The cartel rolls on.
A free exchange of ideas. Mojo 50.